What's going on, Freight Skills? In this video, I am going to be teaching you the number one lesson that we teach all of our sales reps, all of our agents, and it comes from a lesson, a very expensive lesson that we learned way long ago at the beginning stages of my family freight brokerage. It was a very costly lesson, and we're gonna get right into it. So before we do that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to this video to make sure that you don't miss any more freight skills updates, any more tips, tricks, sales secrets, all of the stuff that I share on this channel completely free for you to grow your freight brokerage. Now, this is a really important lesson, and it's something that I feel a lot of brokers don't really grasp in the grand scheme of growing their brokerage, right? So when you're starting a business, if you're starting from absolute zero, the one thing that you might be looking for as a broker, for example, is a really big customer to get your feet wet and start hitting the ground running, right? You want a customer to be hitting you with 10, 15, 20 loads per day. You want that big mega customer, like one of those big convenience stores or a retailer or whatever it is, right? But something that we learned a long time ago, and I'm gonna tell you the story of how we learned this, we discovered that it is much more sustainable and viable and financially beneficial for you to chase smaller customers, especially at the start, rather than big customers. As a matter of fact, in our brokerage right now, we have a rule as an agent: for every one large customer that you have, and we're talking 20, 30 loads a month, you should have 5 smaller customers that are giving you 3 loads a month or 5 loads a month, at least, at the very minimum, right? We encourage smaller customers. We love smaller customers. That's really how we build the foundation of our business. And let me explain to you why. Back when I was maybe 9 months old, and my parents actually started this freight brokerage that I run now from our condo, right from a bedroom, one bedroom condo rather, in Bayonne, New Jersey. And they got this huge customer, right? I don't remember the customer's name, I wouldn't share it anyway, but they got this customer where they were making money hand over fist. They were getting 20, 30 loads a month. They were getting checks every week. They were paying their carriers fast, and life was really good. As a matter of fact, they went out and they bought our first house from the proceeds that they earned from this first customer. So they were really happy. This customer was very high maintenance. It was really hard to sustain their workload, but together as a team, they were able to make it happen, and it was very financially beneficial for them. They were going about their business, load Monday, load Tuesday, load Wednesday, and they were booking loads and calling customer, and everybody was happy and all things were going well. At one point, they went one day without receiving a call or an email from the customer. Right? This was very early stages of email, by the way. So they didn't really think anything of it. They said, oh, you know what, maybe it's just the slow season. Day 2 went by, no call from the customer. Day 3, another day, no call from the customer. So my dad at the time, who was handling the operations, called up the representative that he had a very good relationship with, and he said, hey, what happened here? What's going on with the work? The rep took a deep breath and said, actually, I just got laid off. We were acquired by a very large company, and rather than continue operations, they decided they were shutting the whole branch down. It was a strategic acquisition, and they're trying to eliminate us from the competitive landscape, so they shut the place down. Obviously, this was a big problem for our brokerage, and it's a very big hit in the early stage because we lost all of that revenue, all of that profit that was coming in and sustaining everything, right? It's pretty much their lifestyle at that point, there being my parents who were running the business at the time. They learned a very expensive lesson because during that time where they were servicing this big client, yes, they were making a lot of money, but they weren't able to focus on any other aspects of growing the business. They weren't able to network with carriers because they were covering loads. They weren't able to look for new customers because they were servicing their big customer. And while they thought they had it made and they thought that everything was going to be fine and great, having one customer, one big customer, even though they were making a lot of money, cost them a lot of money in the short term because it took them 5 to 6 months to replicate that business with smaller customers. The moral of the story and the lesson that we teach our brokers and our agents rather is that your book of business should always be diversified between large and small shippers. That's why I always shake my head no when I hear people saying that they want to go after, Walmart freight, UPS, USPS, government. They want these the same mistake that we make. When you're building your business, use it as a general rule that you do not want to celebrate these big customers right off the bat. You don't want to count your money before it hits your bank account, right? You don't count your chickens before they hatch. It's the saying that everybody knows, but not many people live by. You have to understand that for every one big customer you have, that's another chance that everything could be taken away from you at a moment's notice. Like overnight, this happened. They lost 90% of their revenue. Fast forward to today, if any one customer stopped giving our brokerage work, we wouldn't even feel it because there is not one customer that comprises more than 30% of our business. Sure, we have our big customers, we service them well, but we have the team and the infrastructure to do so. So we can accept these large clients and provide a really high level of service. If you're not there yet, if you don't have a team in place, your processes, a base of customers that can sustain you if something goes wrong, then you're not really in a position where you can start going after that freight. That doesn't mean that you can't get there, it just means that you're not ready right now. So again, the moral of the story and the whole point of this video is a way of me telling you that the best way to build your book of business as a freight broker or a freight agent is to make sure that you populate your book with smaller shippers that are usually less competitive, right? Because everybody that I see is going after these large outfits that, they don't value relationships and they just, want the cheapest price. Go after the smaller shippers, the mom and pops, the small businesses, the independent manufacturers, all of those shippers. And then when you have consistent business where not one of them really has a grip on you and your success, then you can go after the larger shippers. But focus on the little ones first. Right? And the little ones might not be so little. My family also has a manufacturing business, and if you had that manufacturing business as a client, you would have a $300,000 per year account in revenue, not profit. So don't sleep on those little customers, the little manufacturers, the wholesalers, the stores, the FBA, Amazon shippers. All of those customers can be very valuable for you if you stack them on top of each other. Then go after the big customers, enterprise level, and you'll see a lot more success with your brokerage over the long term. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you got anything from it, I want you to comment below the #1 lesson that you learned from this. Please, it helps the algorithm and it helps you retain the information better so that you don't repeat the same mistakes that I did. All right, so it would really mean a lot to me if you leave a comment down below. It will mean even more to me if you like this video and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of the amazing and free information that I give you every week about growing your freight brokerage. All right, and before I go, if you are interested in getting more information about growing your freight brokerage, you want more access to me, you want some more lessons like this, I invite you to take a look at my training program. It's called the Freight Skills Academy, and it is the most complete training academy for freight brokers. I'm in there all the time providing ongoing support for all of the daily struggles that you will encounter as a freight broker. Not only that, but it has a library of courses and videos and modules that we update every single month to keep you on top of your game and on top of the logistics industry, which is changing at an incredibly fast pace. So make sure you check that out. It is right down below. And until the next video, I will see you soon.